this is the Making Noise podcast.
Yeah, it's hard. It's I'm not a brilliant strategist with this stuff, but just trying to keep. I think persistence, kind of like just unadulterated persistence. Just coming at it nonstop, but at the level that you can.
Yeah.
Everybody has different levels. Some people can do a lot. Some people can't. But if you can stay consistent and persistent with it, I think most people will find a place for themselves in some capacity.
I like that. That totally leaves room for the person, like the artist themselves, like just who they are to grow and develop into the career that they want.
Yeah, and it's a mix. It's a mix between what's available, opportunity in front of you, making opportunity. It's all so complicated.
It is, but like what you were saying before with networking and like how you started your label, and then Megan, and so then that's happening, and the people she knows, they're a part of it, and yeah,
the networking is huge. I can't get behind that enough. Just like even going back to like the Some Assembly Required album, like I didn't even think I don't have an album of new music myself. I have dreams of putting together an album of songs. I have like probably a couple albums worth of songs I've never recorded. I just haven't had time. I have 3 kids, a full-time job and a half. And it's just not something I can always get to, especially with the few projects I have in the composing world. But like the networking has been surprising, because just like tracing like how I started with this album, I was probably like 2015. I had a song cycle I wanted to write. I ended up writing it for a group called What Is Noise. And the pianist from What Is Noise is Cholong Park, and she's the pianist for Some Assembly Required. And I basically wrote a grant to get What Is Noise to perform my piece in Kalamazoo. We recorded it. We recorded a video of the performance, had a concert, and that's kind of where it stayed. But then that experience led to a collaboration with Cholong's other group, right? They asked me to write a piece that they were going to perform multiple times. They premiered it in Boston, and then the kind of the agreement was they'd put it on an album. And here we are, a couple years down the road, like 5 years from that initial project that I started and brought people on to collaborate with. I'm getting the reciprocal collaborations, and now I'm on a project with the trombonist of Some Assembly Required, writing a piece for a premiere at the International Trombone Journal, something like that. I don't even know. It just came about. He applied for it and they approved it, and so now I'm writing a piece for July, for trombone or alto trombone actually. So like those little connection points are kind of what make this industry move, and giving, receiving is all part of it. So.
I love that you just went through that whole process, because that was actually something I was going to ask was how did it come, how did it, in regards to networking, like with Some Assembly Required, how did that whole relationship start? And like,
and it's cool because, I actually take some of my own projects and map them out for my class, and just to show like the weird pathways that things take, because you never know what's going to happen. And the people that do this a lot, like they might have 10 to 20 of these little weird networks happening at once, right? That lead them into new projects or new experiences or new jobs even. So like, you don't know what the chain of events is going to be, but you put yourself out there, you bring people on to work with you. You try and make it both ways, right? I always try to have projects created where I, collaborate with people too, to bring them on, to pay them. I've done a lot of that. And so it kind of, I think it makes a relationship feel better than somebody who wants to bring you on and have you be part of something.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It just works out that way.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I love all of that. Like to what degree were you involved with the making of the album with Some Assembly Required?
Barely at all. That's the crazy thing. Like, I wrote the piece, they premiered it, and I got a kind of just a quick little phone audio recording of the premiere. And I was like, oh, that was really fun. Not a recording worth putting on an album. And then they got the album together, and they told me they were recording it. They had a few like a couple questions when they were in the studio,
Mhm.
and I didn't hear anything for a while. And they had a Kickstarter for it that they set up. Like I really didn't do anything,
Mhm.
honestly, other than write the piece, which was kind of new for me and it felt pretty good. I'm usually doing a lot of the back end stuff for my own projects, but they they did all this work, and I helped with their Kickstarter. Hey Luna, I'm on an interview, okay? It's my daughter Luna.
Whoa. Hey,
Second
Luna.
cameo of the day.
Woo! I love the headband or whatever that is.
It's a ribbon. She's a fashionista, so
Oh,
yeah.
stylish.
Five and fashionista. And so what was I saying with that? Yeah, so they did all this work to produce this great album for their own ensemble. And I kind of jumped into the tail end and said, okay, let me see how I can help, you know? We kind of worked through some things, and here we are.
How cool is that you just got to write the piece and be like, I'll just relax until you're ready.
Yeah. And then once the label started, I'm like, oh God, so much. I'm reading articles about this and that and doing distributions and still learning, but yeah, that's been fun.